So hi, just going to make a very quick video about Givi tank bag that I've just bought. Literally just turned up at the door in this box, and I thought it'd be worth making a quick video about it because I haven't. I think it's a relatively new tank bag, and I haven't seen anything online about it yet. So it's literally the first time I'm seeing it, apart from online, of course. A couple of bits in the package. There's the bag itself, which is an MT505, and I've just got the flange or the adapter ring, which goes onto the bike. So what I'll do, I think it's relatively easy to fit, so I'll probably just pop it on and then show that in a little while, rather than actually showing fitting it, because I think it's just unbolt a few screws and bolt that on, but we'll see. If it's any more complicated than that, I'll do a video of it. So that's the bag. It's a pretty small size bag. I wanted a pretty small one. The bags that I looked at before getting this online, when I was trying to choose which Givi bag to get, were the 3D603, which is actually an old obsolete bag. I think it's still for sale, but it's been replaced, I think, by something, if I get it right, called the ST602. And really the only difference, I think, between those two bags is that they both come with a window to put your smartphone in on the top, and on the new one it's a slightly bigger window to accommodate more modern smartphones. But also the design of the old bag, the 603, sort of dips down where the phone goes in, whereas the new one is kind of flat, so I think you lose less internal room. Anyway, a bit of a diversion because I didn't want the phone window. I use a sat nav separately, and I don't want to be looking at the phone anyway. I do have a bar bag actually for my bike that I can put a phone in with a window if I need to. So this is relatively new bag, and I specifically got it because I'm going on a trip and I want to be able to take my camera, my SLR, which I'm filming this with at the moment, and I want to be able to take that with me, and there's just nowhere left luggage wise to put that. So hopefully, and I haven't tried it yet because I've literally just taken this out of the box, the dimensions are going to work and I'll be able to get at least just the camera, maybe a couple of little bits in there, and take it with me. And I specifically wanted one of the Givi Tanklock bags because I just think that from everything I've read and the way the system looks, it seems a much neater solution to me than using magnets. I could use magnets. I have a metal tank, or straps and those kind of things. I think those are all going to damage the paint in some way. So I think this seems a neat solution. So this is the MT505, and let me just have a look. So I haven't looked at this before. It has a clip there, and then it is an expandable bag, so you can see that's already open in the expanded state, I'm guessing, or maybe that's just what the clip's for, not sure. So let's see. Okay, so there's two zips here, or two halves of a zip to open up. Inside we've got the part of the Tanklock system that goes on the bag, I think, to go on the bottom here before, and this is the bit that goes onto the bike. And there's also a shoulder strap and a rain cover. Pop those out in a second, we can have a look. This is the actual bag itself. As I say, a pretty small bag. First impressions, there's a little bit of a hump there in the bottom of the bag, but looks like it'll press down, and we'll try that in a second. There is a pocket here, presumably mostly for a mobile phone or something like that, but it doesn't have the window like the other bags that I was talking about. And we've got some sort of little zip pocket here that goes right into this kind of EVA semi-rigid top there. Nice bright colour inside, so which might help with finding things, I suppose, if light's not so good. But that's about it, really. I mean, there's some sort of little, I don't know if you can see that in there. We've got popper, so I'm guessing, yeah, that just gets you to the base. I'm not sure quite why you'd want to do that, but there we go. And yeah, it gives the impression actually that that piece is a little bit too long for the bag, but not the end of the world. And then on the side here we've just got a very small pocket there. You can stick a card or maybe a set of keys in. Same on the other side. And we've got the straps there for actually attaching the shoulder strap, and there's a carry handle. So in theory you'll be able to just pop this off the bike and quickly take it with me so that my camera is secure. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just show you these quickly anyway before I turn off this camera. I'm going to turn this off in a second, and because I want to show whether it fits a camera in the bag, just in case that's useful to people. And just a shout out to Critical Rider on YouTube, who I think is currently just in Scotland at the moment on his tour, and he showed one of the other bags and showed an SLR being put in that, which was very helpful to me in buying this one. And I'm actually off to Scotland in a couple of days' time on this trip as well. So shoulder strap there. The other pieces, that's the flange that's actually going to go on the bike. So you buy these separately because the flange is, you probably know this already, but the flange is specific to a range of bikes. This is a BF02, which is for the Triumph, and things like the Aprilia, Benelli, I'm not sure what else, those ones, but there's a whole range of adapters for different bikes, so you can check whether there's one for your bike. That's there, got some instructions, and so there's a rain cover. Looks like it will be showerproof anyway, but that looks like it will give it some good waterproofing. Anyway, so what I'll do now is I'll just switch this camera off, flip over to the mobile phone, and we can have a look at fitting this camera in the bag. Okay, so plan B, I've actually come up with a cunning plan which allows me to carry on videoing this with my current camera rather than doing a handheld with a mobile phone. Just remembered, of course, I've got my old camera here, which is an old D70. It's about the same size actually as the one that I'm using, which is a D7000. I have just checked that fits fine in the bag. So this is my old camera, the D70, and I've just put the lens that I was using and that I'm going to take with me, which is an 18-200. Just a reasonable lens for when you're travelling, because it has quite a wide range, and it's a good representation of what I need to fit anyway in this. And just to show you, that will fit, no problem in there. And what I'll do is obviously put some more padding around that, and there's room perhaps for either maybe a flash unit there, or I've got a set of filters as well, which I actually might take instead and just pop in there for the type of photography that I do. So I'll just bring that a bit closer so hopefully you can see. So hopefully that gives you an idea that it's actually a pretty good size for taking a consumer type SLR. I guess some of the more pro ones are bigger, and they might be more of a struggle. But I think you've got quite a bit of extra space at the side there anyway. Height wise, I think there's plenty. And this is as I say, an 18-200 Nikon lens, and there's probably about an inch spare at the end there, but bear in mind that I am going to have to put some padding in there. I wouldn't want to leave it just as it is, and I'll put some padding underneath as well. What I was originally thinking I would do was to take some of the dividers out of my other one of my other camera bags, or buy a set of dividers. But of course I hadn't thought about that too much, and this is a shiny type nylon material which they won't actually Velcro to. So I can do it, but I'm going to have to do a bit more work and either stitch or glue on one half of the Velcro into some places, or put some other material in here for those to fit on. So longer term, that may be the solution. For this first trip, probably I'll just put some more padding around that. So hope that was of some use if you're thinking about one of these type of bags. I believe in the UK they've just been reviewed in one of the magazines, Ride magazine. I haven't seen that review yet. What I'll do is go and fit this on the bike, and I'll see if I can just grab a few shots just to show you what it looks like on the bike. So I said a moment ago that I wasn't going to video the fitting of this to the bike unless it got particularly complicated, and changed my mind about that. The reason being that I may have confused people when I was showing the various different bits of the fitting kit. I was a bit confused about what the pieces were, so I thought probably the simplest thing to do is to show fitting it. I haven't tried it yet, and apologies in advance. I know I've got some background noise here. I can't avoid that at the moment. Got a building site going on next door, and I need to have the door open for the light. Anyway, so I'm going to have a go at fitting this. I've just had a very quick look at the instructions, and we'll give it a go now. So the first thing to say is that the instructions that came with the fitting kit have got they seem to talk about various bikes because they have different length of bolts. Now, interestingly, although the kit, as I showed you earlier on, was talking about Aprilia and Benelli and all of those kind of things, on the instructions, and I don't know whether this will come up on the, whether you'll be able to see this, but it's showing two pictures, which is kind of a spot the difference really. One for things like the Tiger 1050 and the Sprint 1050, and here for the Daytona 675. And the only difference as far as I can see is that some of the bolt lengths, I think in fact one of the bolt lengths is different, and they provide different length bolts. Problem being that this is a Tiger Explorer and it doesn't say which is which, so I guess I'm just going to have to look at the bolts that come out and try and figure that out as we go. But anyway, so pretty clear from the instructions that we're going to take off the four at the front here. These turn out to be not particularly tight in case of my bike. So that one, I'll just compare these in a moment, but see what's what. Let's get them out anyway. Okay, so we've got much shorter bolts at the front of this particular tank. So we have to, it's actually just one of them at the front that's much shorter, so that seems to be similar to at least one of the bikes that they were showing on those pictures where one of the bolts is shorter. So yeah, so we've got three slightly longer bolts, and I don't have a tape really close to hand, but let's say that is looks like 30mm actually. Let's just see. So these instructions, the bolts that come with the kit, there's 2 M5 by 20mm and 2 M5 by 40mm. So looks like yeah, so on the actually mine's like the bike on the left in that they use one short bolt in this top left position and the longer ones around here. The longer bolts in this case, as I say, are 40mm, which I think I'll just hold them up against each other. Right. Yes. So what we've got then, these are the existing bolts on the left and the Givi replacement ones on the right. And yes, they're a little bit longer. They're about from under the head, they look like they're about 10mm longer, yeah, on each one, which gives you the extra dimension for the fitting of the flange. So that kind of makes sense. So we'll just put the old ones to one side and keep those for if we ever need to use them. Just to explain what the other bits are then. So we've got in the kit that came, the BF02 kit, which is the bike specific part, there were two pieces. These are both metal. I'll just check which way those fit. Yeah, so the this piece is going to fit like this, I believe, and then the other piece that I showed you, which is plastic, that came with the bag, and that then fits on like this. So that's where I was, you know, I think I may have confused earlier because I said that would go on the bottom of the bag, but it doesn't. And then this piece is going to slot in, I think, yeah, like that, once you get it just orientated just right, and then that sits like that. So in theory I can then just pop in one of the longer ones there, shorter one in this top left position. I've got a feeling, yeah, it's the ones that came out, I was using an a 4mm hex key. I need to get a smaller one. You know, the Givi bolts have a smaller head. We'll just do these gently just to check that they're not over long. They seem to go in fine. The original bolts, as you probably saw when I took them out, came out very easily. They're not tight at all. So I don't know exactly what the torque settings are, but I'm not going to go crazy on these. Okay, so that hopefully is in place. Just check the camera just to see that you're getting all of that. Hopefully that came across reasonably okay. So, and then I understand that we just pop the bag on like that. You just come out a little bit, yeah. So, sorry, just waiting for that van to pull away. Apologies again for the sound. So, yeah, so there's the bag. It looks quite big on the bike as it is. I'm just going to clear some stuff out of the way and then get on the bike to see what the view's like. It's a very small tank bag, so I doubt there's going to be any problems. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. It's nicely on there. I can see all the clocks. Got no issues with anything at all there. I obviously have to try out riding it. Just as is the way with fitting things, you sometimes find that you hadn't thought of something and they get in the way. But I think that's going to be perfectly comfortable sitting there, and the idea will be that I'll be able to stop en route, pull out my camera, take a couple of shots if I need to, quite easily. So overall, so far, pretty pleased with that. And I'll just grab the camera and show you how that sits on the rest of the tank. So yeah, so there's it sitting on the tank. Hopefully you can see there. I mean, it's actually doesn't touch the tank at all. I'm sure you've probably already looked at other Tanklock bag videos and seen all of this. It's a pretty neat system, as I say. The just one other thing to mention is that the instructions for the bag show, I think, using the shoulder strap to clip on here and then attach round the bars. It may be that there's another strap I haven't seen yet that is for doing that, because the shoulder straps could be far too long to do that, but maybe if there's a shorter one that clips on there, I suppose it's just an extra bit of security in case the hopefully the system itself is secure, but I suppose it's possible you could knock it accidentally and then it I don't know, but that's just to mention what they showed in the instructions anyway. So there we have it. There it is on the bike, and the view. That's pretty much from eye level. It's probably horribly out of focus now. So it's hopefully you can see there, it doesn't get in the way of anything. So as I say, I hope that's of some use. That's the Givi MT505, and that's fitting it on a Tiger Explorer. Thanks a lot. Bye.